we will be studying about the 5-stage model of merger and acquisition. The 5-stage model of merger and acquisition. So the 5 stages of a merger and acquisition are classified as corporate strategy development, organizing for acquisition, deal structuring and negotiations, post acquisition integration, and post acquisition audit and organizational learning. So these are the total 5 stage to make a merger and acquisition successful, right? 5 stage models we call for making a merger and acquisition successful. So let us talk about the first stage. The first stage is corporate strategy development. To go for a merger and acquisition, first of all, we need to make a proper strategy. So that is called as a strategy development, corporate strategy development. In that, merger and acquisition is an instrument for achieving corporate strategy. So how we are treating a merger and acquisition? We are treating merger and acquisition as an instrument, right? It is what? It is an instrument. It is a tool for achieving the corporate strategy. To get the desired amount of corporate strategy, we are using an instrument that is called as merger and acquisition. That is a strategy. Similarly, corporate strategy is concerned with way of optimizing the portfolios of business that a firm currently owns with how this portfolio can be changed to serve the interest of the corporate stakeholders, right? There are different portfolios and corporate strategies will make the portfolios like different for the different people. Ultimately, we want to serve the interest of the corporate stakeholders. We need to satisfy the corporate stakeholders. When you go for a merger and acquisition, you will find that there will be a corporate strategy by which you will find that the people will not be ready to accept, and the people will not be ready to work at one particular platform. So by this particular strategy, what it happens is that they will be started to working in one particular objective in the desired amount of portfolios. The next strategy is organizing for acquisitions. Now we know about our strategy. We have planned for the strategy. We have planned for our game plan or strategy, whatever we have prepared. Now, how to organize for the acquisition? What are the things we need to organize? A precondition for a successful merger acquisition is that the firm organizes itself for effective acquisition making. So our company need to organize itself first of all for making a deal effective or effective acquisition, right? That is precondition. Before going for a merger and acquisition or whatever the stakes are there, we need to organize ourselves itself, right? A company need to organize itself so that there should be effective organization, acquisition making. Understand beforehand the value creation logic. So how the value will get created, that we need to understand. If you acquire these all things, what are the different kind of value creations are going to happen in merger and acquisition? Whether there is a creation of synergy, whether there is a creation of wealth, whether there is a creation of assets, whether there is a creation of any other resources, that has to be understood. That has to be understood for organizing the things for acquisition. Then leads to successful point integration. Organizing, if it is there, it will lead us to the successful point of integration. If organizing is not proper, if you're not organized each and every responsible things which are required for merger, you will find that there will be no successful post integration, right? After integration, there may be some disputes, there may be errors, there may be people not ready to work, might either a problem on the financial side, non-financial side. So it leads to unsuccessful post integration if the organizing for acquisition is not done properly. Then develop a framework for effective organization of merger and acquisition activity. So we need to develop a framework. Why we need to develop a framework for effective organization of merger and acquisition strategy? There has to be a framework, a particular structure, for effective organization of merger and acquisition strategy. Get requisite skills, knowledge, and capabilities. Right, to organize for acquisition, the people of the both companies, they should get the desired amount of skills what are required, knowledge, capabilities, so that it has to match with both the companies. There should not be any shortage, or there should not be anything which becomes a disadvantage for a company. Right, so this is the second step in the 5-stage model. Third step is deal structuring and negotiation. Deal structuring and negotiation is a very important kind of step in the 5-stage model. Here we need to value, first of all, we need to make a structure of our deal, how we are going to deal with the people. Similarly, after making a deal, you will be having some base price, right? You will be having some amount. Now, how you are going to negotiate with those people? Negotiation. That is called as negotiation. Now, under deal structure and negotiations, valuation of target company is very important. Right. This means that we need to value our target company. We need to calculate how much is the value net worth of the target company. Sometimes, if you do it correctly, you will get the right and desired amount of result. If you do wrong valuation, you may not get the right result. So valuation of a target company is very, very important task. Choosing advisors. We need to choose our advisors. So who are going to advise us on what all different things, that has to be chosen, right? If you choose these advisors properly, you will find that there will be a big difference in deal structuring and negotiations. Obtaining and evaluating as much intelligence as possible of target, right? We need to first of all obtaining the all desired amount of information, each and every point of information, desired amount of information, as well as what we need to make sure is we need to evaluate the much intelligence and possible of target. So what will be our mission, what is our target, that also we need to evaluate by using our intelligence. Then the next deal structuring is due diligence. We need to do a due diligence of each and every activities, financial due diligence or non-financial due diligence, right? Or any other due diligence you're doing, detailed study, right? For making a deal structure proper or negotiation proper. So due diligence has to be done by the experts of the companies, both the companies. If you do due diligence, you will be having satisfaction also that we are having some trustworthiness. Because of due diligence, there will be some trustworthiness between the companies. Then determining negotiation parameters. Now, how we are going to negotiate, that parameters has to be decided. It should be not like a general bargaining kind of things, but when negotiating some parameters, at what particular price or what things, what parameters you will be negotiating, at what quantity, at what price, at what share value, at what net worth. So those all parameters need to be decided. Then in those parameters, if it is fulfilling, then the deal will get successful. Or if that negotiation parameters and the actual things what are existing, if they are not matching, then the deal will get cancelled. So that first of all, parameters need to be decided. Then negotiation of senior management positions in the firm. After having a negotiation between using the parameters by which the company has decided, then the next negotiation has to be done by the senior management position in the firm, who are holding in the organization, who are the senior members, senior management staff members. So they need to negotiate after doing a final negotiation, they will do it. Then developing bid and defenses strategies, right? So first, lastly, they have to develop a bid and defenses strategies. Finally, whatever bid is there, whatever is the highest price, that has to be decided. And defensive strategies. So what will be the strategies to make this particular deal successful? Defensive strategies we call, right? So those all things need to be decided in the third important structure of 5-force model. Fourth is post-acquisition integration. So in post-acquisition integration, here change management program. When you acquire a firm, either acquisition is there, merger is there, takeover is there, you will find that there will be a change management will happen, because new culture is there, new number of people are there, new net worth is there, new assets and liabilities are there. Totally, there is a new environment. When there is a change in management, there has to be a change management program conducted about a target company and acquiring company. Right, about a target company, what are the changes compared to our company? Right, our company, that change management kind of program has to be told to all of the members, all of the people who are working. And about the acquiring company, change management things has to be communicated to all the members. Similarly, the change management also includes the different kind of program related to attitude and behavior of both the accommodate coexistence of the two organizations. Like whatever attitude they are having, what kind of behavior of both the accommodate coexistence companies they are having, or organization they are having, according to that also the program need to be conducted. That is also a very important thing. If you don't communicate about the change management, people will not understand each other. Whether the target firm will not understand, acquiring firm will not understand, there will be problem related to the attitude, behavior of the people, of the management members. So various problem will arise. So the important task in 5 force model is also to have a post acquisition integration, right? So that both the companies will have a proper integration. When there is a good integration, then only there will be all together they will work coordinately, there will be a better coordination, right? That is also a very important model. Next is post acquisition audit and organizational learning. Now, once the integration has been done, all the people have been merged as one, coordination you are going to bring in the organization, then you have to do post acquisition audit. After acquiring, what are the changes happened? That is called as post acquisition audit. And organizational learning. So once you do a post acquisition audit, which means both the firms have acquired and there has been an integration, and after doing integration you did post acquisition audit. And by doing post acquisition audit, what are the organizational learnings you did? What are the organizational learnings? What are the changes happened? What are the learnings you got? That has to be studied. And in that, emphasis on learning, we need to do a learning about various aspects. Whether you can take about the culture, you can take about the attitude of the people, you can take about their uh, working areas, you can take about finance, various things. So learning will be done after doing whether doing in the post acquisition audit. Similarly, archiving for future, which means we will be thinking about future. All right, here we are going to plan about future. So what will be the future? We are going to plan about the vision of the company. There will be framing of new vision. Archiving in the sense, the framing of new vision. Both the companies, they were having a different set of visions. Now after having a one set of a company, after having an integration, the post acquisition audit and organization learning will tell us. By that we can have a proper kind of one particular object target for a company, one vision for a company. So that is called as the post acquisition audit and organizational learning